to go into our semifinals. I'm very excited for this one. Dark versus ByuN. Not something you get to see all that often. In general, TVZs of this high level is not something that I personally get to cast very often. Usually, I get to cast a lot of mid-level Protosses. And occasionally, something like this pops up. So we got to take advantage of it while it's here. Let's hop into game number one. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Romanticide. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Dark. His opponent for the Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. Now, I will say, ByuN's TVZ, it's pretty good, but the last time I cast ByuN, just a few short days ago, he was up against B, who is a pretty solid, I'd say, you know, pretty high GM Russian Zerg. B actually took him down in a best of 5, and that does not instill lots of confidence for me as ByuN goes up against Dark. Dark, who is one of the absolute strongest Zergs in the world, without a doubt, one of the strongest Zergs in the world. And it's gonna be tough for ByuN. It's gonna be very difficult for ByuN. Certainly not impossible. And I will say his match against B was played on the EU server, so ByuN had about 350 milliseconds of ping, which is pretty substantial. You know, I don't want to discount the fact that ByuN was playing with huge ping and also playing at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Both things that are not going to be true here for this match. It's mostly important for things like avoiding Baneling hits and lifting up into medevacs, and then later on with ghosts. But we'll see. We'll see what Dark decides to do this game, and I imagine ByuN's going to play it quite aggressively based on what looks like a 2-1-1 opening. This was the ByuN Classic. This was ByuN's bread and butter. 2 barracks. You get stim. You just get a bunch of Marines out. And when you get 2 medevacs, you move across the map. And there you go. Starting up the Marines already. No Reaper, though, so Dark's going to be able to just sneak in here with the Lings. The Lings do not have to stay on the other side of the map. There's nothing for them to defend. The SCVs are like, we'll send this Ling away, and the other 3 Lings are like, all right, bud. Ling going to go up to the high ground, is going to spot that it's 2 racks. Not seeing a factory go down. Okay, never mind. There we go. I was going to say, you need to see that factory coming down pretty soon. Marines push away the Lings. Lings beat on the way back at home for Dark. So not going for anything like a super cheeky fast lair or something. Which, you know, it's Dark. So every now and then, we might get lair before Link speed. For like a Nidus or something. That's a Dark strategy if I ever saw one. But ByuN, the nice thing about the 2-1-1 is you get those Marines out and you get to put some pressure across the map pretty quickly. Forces a response from the Zerg. Now, Zerg's got really good at dealing with this build. This build was super popular like 3 years ago, and Zerg's just got so good at handling it that we like don't ever see it anymore. Despite the fact that it's a pretty solid build in and of itself, and it's not super committed. You can get 16 Marines across the map, and I mean, those Marines are going to be useful. The idea is to not lose them. But again, Zerg's just got so good against it that we see Hellion openings pretty much every game now. Ooh, and speaking of Hellions, ByuN is not going for the standard 16 Marine drop with this. That's what it looked like. It's what I expected this to be. It was the good old-fashioned ByuN Classic here. But he's going to go for a Hellbat timing with this. And it's got a 3rd CC as well. Wow, how does he have enough minerals for all this? I guess mules are pretty good. It's just 2? It's just 2 Hellions? Okay, this can't be good, right? Like, this is bad. Dark is gonna smash this. He is gonna smash this so hard. Right? Like, am I crazy? This is 2 Hellbats. Look at Dark's army. He's got so much. Where's ByuN going? He's going up this ramp. He's gonna get the hell out of here. He stims, it's a little late. Oh my god. Oh my god. ByuN just loses everything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is not a good build. The 2 Hellbats add pretty much nothing to this fight. If it was just pure Ling, maybe they could add a little bit. But the Ling's got a full wraparound on the Marines. The Banelings smash into them. And that just turns into an abysmal trade for ByuN. And remember when I was like, well, you just keep the Marines alive. Well, he didn't. And all of a sudden, this build becomes terrible. Because TVZ, when it's Marine-based, is completely focused, especially Marine, like Marine Mine versus Ling Bane. It's all momentum-based. And the idea of the 2-on-1 opening is to give you that momentum early, to get the ball rolling, as it were. And you trade out with some Lings, maybe you kill a queen or two, you clear some creep, and then you pull back, and by the time you pull back, you've got another set of Marines that can move out on the map, and you have 2 drops now. And the Zerg, who just tried to drone up after losing a bunch of Lings, suddenly might not have enough to defend. The follow-up is usually a lot stronger in the 2-on-1 than the initial 16 Marines. Now, ByuN doesn't have that follow-up. The follow-up is going to be its own separate attack, and what it's going to be is a very late 4 Widowmine drop. Now, this could still find a lot of damage. There's no detection here. There is an armory, and not only that, there is drilling claws. So these Widowmines are just going to go straight into the ground. Queens are here. Spore Crawler does go down. Now, there's the super fast burrow. Gonna kill 5 drones very quickly. Looks like this medevac will die. So no repositioning gonna be available here. Dark should be able to clean this up fairly quickly once the Overseer pops. Oh my god, do you see that? He morphed that Spore Crawler to protect it from the Widowmine. Widowmines don't deal damage to buildings. Fun fact for you. There are very few units that actually don't deal damage to buildings. Widowmines, there is something else, but I can't think of it right now. There's a lot of Lings hitting in the counterattack. There are quite a few Marines here, but forces a cancel on that 4th base that was building. Very nice damage done for those Widowmines. Widowmines? Lings. Whew. Widowmines don't deal damage to buildings, and wow, I can't think of it. There is another unit that doesn't deal damage to buildings. I actually thought of it, got distracted by the Lings, and now I can't think of it anymore. Now it's gone. It's gone from my brain. And I call myself a caster. Goodness. Can't even remember what units don't deal damage to buildings. Oh, Liberators. I guess in unsieged mode they can. But Liberators, when they're sieged up, they won't shoot buildings. There's a couple units that don't deal damage to buildings for you. Now ByuN is out on the map. He's clearing some creep. Nice damage. The Lings got to be careful if they spill in a line like that. The Marines will take a good fight. Dark knows that, pulls back immediately, and should be able to get some of this creep respread over here. Looks like the Queens are working on that. I wouldn't hate to see Dark take down these minerals. I think that's a really important part. If you're gonna take this base, I feel like taking down these minerals is huge. In general, with Ling Bane, with ground focus, but especially with mobile ground units like Ling Bane, taking down rocks, taking down anything that blocks your path on your creep especially is going to be really, really important. Otherwise, that's something ByuN can really take advantage of. ByuN dropping in the main base. And again, he's just fighting against the Lings. As soon as the Baneling shows up, he's going to be able to boost out of there. In the meantime, he's pushing forward on the front with a bit of a stronger force. Now, he can't lift all this up to get out of here, so this is a bit more committed. But Dark has to be careful about a Widowmine that gets 17 kills. The Banelings come in, clean up a few units, but ByuN does pick up 16 of those Marines to get out of there. Still one Widowmine over here that Dark has to be careful of. I don't think he's ready for it. He's not watching. And that Widowmine gets a great connection before it dies. However, Dark's gotten into lurkers now. And what does ByuN have to deal with lurkers? He does have a few Marauders and he's got a few siege tanks, but not much. He's going to need a little more than that as the lurker count gets higher. Only 3 at the moment. But here we go. Ghost coming out. A second Ghost Academy finishing up. Now, I feel like that might be a mistake, but it also might be for nukes. We could see double nukes go down. That is definitely something that we've seen be very popular on this map. In fact, the last time I saw ByuN on this map, last week against Solar, ByuN was on this map. And that is now the most viewed clip on my channel. If you haven't seen that, just, you know what, just go check that out real quick. I promise you this game, well, I'm not going to promise this game won't be over by then because you really never know, but it's romanticide, it's a long TVZ. I have a feeling we're going to be on this map for a while. Go check out that clip real quick. It's a good one. It's worth it. If we're lucky, we'll get to see something similar this game, but something tells me that that's a Solar exclusive. Oh, ByuN getting caught out on the map. He's got to lift up. He's got to get out of here. Boosts away. Dark doing a great job catching him there. I don't know if that was on purpose, but he does catch him. This command center trying to go take this base. It is not going to happen. Mass changelings going out. Good job taking him out here for ByuN. Not going to get that vision. Dark's going to push in, though. He's got a ton of Lings. The Ghost trying to get some snipes off. Aren't really able to get too much done, but the lurkers aren't here. So ByuN just holds. Honestly, not the best trade in the world for Dark. He replenishes with 98 more Zerglings. Oh my god, these Zerglings are working on 3-3. They don't have Adrenal. Dark. Come on, Dark. You've got a lair, or you've got a hive. You know what the first thing you need to get as a hive. Once your hive is done, you gotta get that Adrenal. Dark trying to get fancy with these Nidus Worms, but good cancel there for ByuN. ByuN trying to get this planetary up, but it's not quite ready, and it's gonna get overrun before it finishes up. It's gonna get 2 shots off before it dies. However, that buys time for ByuN to get units into position. The sensor tower stays up. He's going to be able to see these units retreating. Keep an eye on this side of the map. And might be able to just set up a new planetary there, yeah. I like this move. He's going to really defend this position and then just try to expand northwards. Dark blocking the base. He's got a couple... I don't know if I like these lurkers. Are they on hold position? I feel like one hold position lurker is not that scary against 3-3 bio, though. I don't know. Something about it doesn't seem too scary. Dark is going to keep pushing on the left-hand side, and there is no way this planetary is done before the Lings get here. He's got so many command centers. I feel like he could lift one and land it over here quicker than this. ByuN, he's got some units here, but it's mostly ghosts. He's going to snipe the Overseer, so potentially cloaking could be helpful, but I don't think he's got cloak on the Ghost. He doesn't have it researched. And this base is getting absolutely overrun, but Dark is spending a lot of money to kill this. He does have a bank. But in the meantime, he's dropped a Nidus over here, which is at least going to give him some creep spread and make clearing up that lurker even more annoying. In the meantime, 15 SCVs go down. Dark still on 87 workers. The Nidus forcing some friendly fire on the siege tank, but just a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be a while before ByuN can take this base. So ByuN's going to actually start expanding down to the lower left, which in that case, this position is way less strong. This position needs to be like here. The planetary needs to be here in this choke point then. Dark, in the meantime, has expanded to take every single base on his side of the map. And is continuing to be annoying and delay this base. This 5th base has been floating here for so long. And it can finally land now, but Dark is trying to stop this base from landing now. And ByuN finally has a 5th base in position. Finally, but can he actually mine from it? Dark has been mining so much more this entire game, and he's just going to keep doing it. ByuN's got to lift this base up. Yep, cancels and lifts. I feel like Adrenal is done at this point. No? Dark. Can somebody knock on Dark's door and tell him to build Adrenal? Dark, please. It's like the best upgrade in the game. Please build it. He's got so many lings. He's 94 lings. Imagine how good Adrenal would be. He's going to win this without Adrenal, though. He just dives in here. The Banelings and Lings going to smash into the SCVs and kill this planetary. Not the biggest deal in the world. The SCVs are definitely more of a big deal than the planetary. But Dark, he can just replenish, and ByuN can't. He can't replenish. All right, this Lurker going to get cleared. This base is still not even close to happening. However, ByuN finding some good value here. Scanning, he's sniping a lot of these Lurkers. A bunch of Lurkers just died. 14 Lurkers have died this game. ByuN's traded so much better. But doesn't matter because of how, oh my god, look at the income difference. 3,450, it's just going up. I don't think I've ever seen an income advantage this huge. The graph makes it look so much smaller, but this is like a normal peak of a very big difference. This is 2,000 resources in favor of Dark, and it's dwarfed by this peak up here. That is insane. I've never seen a resource collection rate that different before. And that is why Dark can trade this inefficiently, and it literally doesn't matter. He's going to come back in again. He's just going to absolutely demolish this base. Tanks, ghosts. I just don't think this is going to be enough here for ByuN. He might stop this push, but will he stop the next one or the one after that? No, he will not. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 1. And wow, he looked pretty damn good doing it. Very strong. A very strong Zerg player is Dark. All right, we're heading into game number 2 now. Going to be on Oxide. Much smaller map, so Romanticides are really big, often very late game centric map right now. We see a lot of late games happening on that map. In pretty much every matchup, we're more likely to see late games on that map. I think just because it's so much easier to take 3 bases. But I don't expect too many more late games. Maybe if we get to 2,000 atmospheres. Not sure if that's going to happen. Let's hop into game number 2. We'll definitely get to this game, that's for sure. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, it is our Dragon Phoenix Gaming Zerg. Dark. The 2019 World Champion. And his opponent in the upper right, the 2016 World Champion for the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And ByuN says, fine. You know what? Your late game is really good, Dark. You're really good at StarCraft. So, I'm going to 2-racks you. And I gotta say, 2 racks or 3 racks, I feel like in tournament play, this build has a super high win rate. I almost never actually see this lose. which is kind of a meme because I feel like I saw ByuN lose with this against B this past week. I feel like that happened, but I'm not 100% sure. If anybody can do it, though, it is Dark. However, it's 2 racks, so it's not super committed. Dark is going to scout this nice and early, though. Not super early, but definitely could be worse. Overlord not going to take any damage here. ByuN just runs by it. He knows he can't kill it. But that's going to give Dark the information he needs. I don't think he saw exactly how many barracks it was, but first bunker going down. Drones getting pulled. SCV going to spot the drones being pulled, and the spine crawler goes down behind this as well. Bunker going to force to be canceled here, but as 2 more Marines show up, it gets a little dicey for the drones. Drones pulling back. What the drones really want to do is make sure bunkers don't get up. The Marines by themselves become less and less scary as more Lings come out, as a Queen comes out, as the spine finishes up. But if they're in a bunker, that is terrifying. There's a huge difference between Marines in and out of a bunker. I don't think ByuN wants to just super commit to this, right? Again, it's 2 racks. He's got a factory coming down back at home. Ooh, spine's going to finish. Only 93 hit points left. 1 Marine goes down. The SCV is just going to leave. 2 drones have fallen. If ByuN doesn't take any more trades after this, I think that's okay. But maybe not great. Oh, the spine crawler is going to move. Marine's going to dive forward, going to try to take advantage of this spine crawler movement. And they will be able to. They're going to dive in and hit the corner where the spine crawler can't hit them anymore. They kill 6 more drones, and that is a very nice trade for ByuN. You know, the game's not over. There's 8 drones on the way right now, but this is certainly annoying for Dark. Ooh, 1 more drone goes down. Somehow, ByuN targets down that final drone. But worker count ends up even. ByuN's got a base halfway done. And in the meantime, getting into Hellions, which is going to stop any Lings from getting across the map. Not that there are any, but every now and then you'll see a counterattack happening, and the Hellions coming down back at home are really important. And not only that, Hellions are just good to have in this matchup. Now, an Overlord just died. So that Overlord came in to scout what was going on, but that dying supply block Dark for a second. It was highly unfortunate, but it was only for a second. So now he's good. He's free and clear of that supply block. He started mining gas, but he just stopped. Hasn't gotten link speed, hasn't been mining any more gas, just wants to get drones out. So it's just going to be drones and Queens coming out for Dark as he takes his 3rd base. Not even going to bother with links. And you can't blame him. He knows it's Hellions. Lings can be helpful against Hellions, but not the most helpful. And it looks like the follow-up for ByuN is going to be Marine Tank after he gets those 4 Hellions out. Yeah, so link speed starts up now. The Hellions might have a chance of sneaking by. All right, a few Lings do come out. Man, these 4 Marines really pressuring Dark. Oh my god, and there's a medevac. Oh, this is so slick from ByuN. And because of no link speed, these Lings are going to really struggle to ever actually even hit the Hellions. Dark literally just taps out. Wow. I got to say, I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that those extra 6 drones died. It's hard to know. Players have gotten really good at macroing out of weird situations like that. It's not even that weird of a situation. Thanks to Maru. Thanks to 2018 Maru. But yeah, ByuN doing a good job getting macroing out of that. Those 4 Marines distracting Dark, so his Queens weren't anywhere near position. Link speed was super late because he just wanted to get as many drones out as possible. But he sacrificed a lot to get those drones out, and they were all about to die to Hellions. I can't blame the tap out there. Now we're getting into game number 3. which is going to be on 2000 Atmosphere. So I mentioned this map earlier. I wasn't sure if it had been vetoed or if it was Game 5 and we'd never get there. But we're all tied up 1-1. And map number 3 is our other big macro map. This is one we often see 4, 5, 6 bases on. If we're going to see a big macro game, I think this is probably our second most likely map to see it on. Let's hop in and see what we do in fact see. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Dark. What I see is DPG. His opponent in the upper right-hand corner for the Rebellion. It's ByuN. You ever think it's interesting that a lot of the letters in the English alphabet rhyme in how they're pronounced? Excuse me. Whew. And how pretty much every single consonant, the way it's pronounced and the way it's spelled out is with that consonant and just vowels. Whew, excuse me. Except for weird ones like H. I don't really even know how you spell H. Maybe like EICH. That's almost like Eich. I don't know. AECH? AICH? H. Yeah, there you go. AICH. That's what we'll go with. Oh my god. Where are all my frames going? Why are all my frames gone? What is happening? This is the start of a game. Why do I have 28 frames per second right now? Alright. I feel like I'm crazy. Do we gain any frames back? Yeah, wow, okay, hold on. All the frames are back. Okay. All right. So I did a couple of things. One of them worked really well. Wow. Well, that's useful. All right. I completely forgot what I was talking about. The letter H. I was talking about the letter H. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the letter H. The whole point of that honestly, where I was going with that whole thing about letters, is that I was going to make fun of Canadians and Brits for saying Z, because pretty much every other consonant is spelled using that consonant and vowels. So why would you change that for one letter? That's my question. Haven't heard a satisfactory answer yet. I don't think I ever will, because Z is objectively incorrect. Incorrect. Game looking pretty normal so far, though. We've got Marines, Hellions coming out. There's a medevac, so it looks like ByuN is going to get a little aggressive. I think he's going to do a Hellion drop again. He was like, that was a quick GG. Let's try that again. Ooh, no. Marine drop. Hellions. Gonna run across the map. No armory here with this, so this isn't something cheeky. Just a little bit of pressure. EYCH. That's not bad, Flare. That's not bad. I could dig that one. H. Hellion's gonna hit on the right-hand side here. There are a few Lings nearby. Hellion's got to be careful. I think the medevac has been spotted. So Dark knows. The jig is up. The news is out. The medevac shouldn't be able to get too much damage done here. Yeah, ByuN just picks up. More Hellions join up at the front, though. It's third base. Ooh, might be in a little bit of trouble, but we've got Roaches coming out. Dark going for Roaches. You know, I saw the Roach one, but sometimes when I'm casting, whenever I'm speaking and I like click on something, I don't actually register that it's there. ByuN also going for the Liberator. Wow. Triple prong harass right now. Really causing some problems here for Dark. Dark forced to pull off of mining here. Hasn't really taken any damage though. In fact, has literally taken no damage. Oh, the Queen! Alright, Queen and 2 drones going down. At the same time, the Hellions dive in, and the Lings are nowhere nearby. The Queens were dealing with that Liberator, and 11 drones go down. 13 drones go down just like that. Now, that was sacrificing Hellions for that damage. And Dark is pushing across the map with Roaches, morphing into Ravagers, and Lings. There is a full wall here, although it's a very weak wall. Not a very strong wall. The tank on the high ground is really nice. Doesn't hit the left-hand side, though, and as soon as these Lings can boost on in, becomes very dangerous for ByuN. ByuN bravely moving out. These Marines do have stim, but he's being conservative with his stim. He's not utilizing it right now. He's going to get supply blocked as these depots die. He's very supply blocked, actually. But another tank siege is up, and I think ByuN's going to be all right here. Oh, I love the pickup to kill this Overlord. The Overlord, no chance of getting away. That Overlord was there so the Biles could land in the high ground siege tank, but ByuN sniffs it out, catches it, stops it from happening. He's got a 3rd CC, so he's going to push out now a little bit. Dark has to pull back. Dark did some decent counter damage. The fact that he lost 13 drones for 6 Hellions and a Liberator isn't great, but the fact that he was able to go across the map, kill a few depots, take the pressure off of his back, and drone up a bunch behind it, starts up a 4th base that feels a bit late, but not too bad. I think he's in an okay economic position. ByuN just now taking his 3rd, still down a few workers. And Dark has a chunky funky unit composition out with Roach Ravager. It just deals a little bit better in these kinds of fights. You know, one medevac, you send a few Roaches over, and that they just gotta leave. There's no, we were talking about in game 1, as the Lings trickle in, the Marines want to fight that. That's just not a thing with Roaches. It's just not a thing. The Roaches, unless there's a lot of Marines, Roaches trickling in will push away like 2 medevacs worth of units. Yeah, ByuN gonna take advantage of that here, though. He's like, actually, I do not have fear of 3 Roaches and 3 Ravagers. I am going to win that fight, clear a bunch of creep, and then I will lift up and get out of here. So yeah, ByuN really utilizing his units very well here, and this is what ByuN excels at. So it's always going to be tough for Dark to take good trades here. Surprisingly, Dark has not made a single drone since I was talking about his drone count earlier. He was on 68 to 53 of ByuN. Now he's on 68, and ByuN's got 72. ByuN's literally made 20 workers, and Dark hasn't made anything but units. He's going to push across the map. He morphs a ton of Ravagers, and he is just going to try to kill ByuN right here, and ByuN is just not ready for this. He unsieges the tank up front to pull it back. The Marines trying to buffer for these tanks. One tank going to get biled down, but there's 3 tanks up on the high ground here. Dark might be pressuring a little too hard. At the same time, we've got drones going down to this tiny little drop. It's just 4 Marines left, but this base is super low, and Dark is barely mining from it. So while ByuN isn't mining from his 3rd right now, oh, some great focus fire here from ByuN. Targets down a few of those Ravagers. I think ByuN's doing a good job holding on. The supplies show Dark in the lead, but this is getting dicey. That being said, ByuN's trying to move forward with the siege tanks. Command center getting biled again. But with enough Marines out, eventually ByuN will win this fight. Again, targeting down the Ravagers. He's going to lift up all the Marines and try to head across the map, which is super dangerous. Okay, he pulls back with the Marines to try to defend the flank. There are a lot of siege tanks here, and he's going to repair that command center and keep it alive. At least for now. Might have to lift it again, though, which means he's just not mining from this third base, and Dark is back to mining from this base, despite the fact that it's really low. It's still alive, and it's still being mined from. However, ByuN will finally push this away, get back to mining. Let's take a look at the trades. So ByuN has traded a little bit more efficiently. Dark has been mining better. This is all that command center being lifted, by the way. It should be pretty much even, especially as mules drop. ByuN's actually going to take the lead here. No follow-up tech from Dark. He does have 2-2 on the way, but he's actually going to be quite a bit behind in terms of those upgrades. 2-2 finishing up for ByuN, and he is pushing out on the map. Oh, he's got to be careful about any counterattacks, though. Dark was pushing across the map, but he decides to pull back to try to defend. ByuN does feel spread a little bit thin, but he's going to be able to sneak into the natural here with a lot of Marines. Taking down a lot of drones. Going to target down that Spore Crawler. And I think he's just going to lift up in these 3 medevacs and get out of here. After getting 23 drone kills. I don't know, maybe a Liberator over here or something? These 4 queens had to deal with something. And a few more drones going down. Dark down to 48 workers. And ByuN, again, he's down army supply, but it's against Roach Ravager, which I think is always going to be really supply inefficient. It's usually a bloated supply. But 146 army supply is nothing to sneeze at. That upgrade disparity that I mentioned, the 2-2, is now going to finish up for Dark, so that is not going to be there. And while he's going to lose this base, and he's going to lose 9 more drones. Oh, the medevac. Nice Biles. I feel like Dark can move across the map, and I'm really worried for ByuN. He needs to get a really good tank spread. He needs to make sure they are all sieged up. Oh, I'm a little concerned. He's not ready for this attack across the map. Okay, Roaches and Ravagers trying to step forward here. He lifts up those tanks. He's going to pull backwards. He's got so many siege tanks here. They just need to stay alive and get as much damage done as possible because he still has Marines in his opponent's base. Kills the Roach Warren, so no more Roach is going to be coming out of Dark for a while. And at the same time, he's going to send these units back in. There's an Overlord just forest here. Dark still has the ability to push forward into this natural, though. The third has been completely routed for ByuN. A lot of SCVs have fallen. Neither player has good economy, a good economy at all. ByuN not focused on those units. They just move command past some Roaches and Ravagers. A lot of those Marines die. He has 1 Marine in a medevac up here, so that's super useful. Roach Warren being remade. This is a super dicey game. I feel like ByuN, I was going to say he's still traded better, but honestly, I'm not sure if that's really true. I think that medevac tried to go back in and died with the single Marine in it. ByuN going to reestablish his third base. Dark desperately trying to retake this 4th. He's lost so many workers, but he's droning back up. He's getting into Burrow. And considering the lack of turrets, I don't know if there were turrets at any point, but there certainly aren't now. ByuN might get completely caught off guard by Tunneling Claw Roaches. Pathogen Glands on the way, as well as some Infestors are coming out. Dark knows how to play in a scrappy game, and Infestors, Spellcasters in general, are going to be super extra strong in scrappy games. Anything that can get really high efficiency, the tanks for ByuN are going to be that. And for Dark, it's going to be those Infestors. Fungals are huge. ByuN drops a turret, recognizing that Dark might go for Burrow. This turret is for Burrow. 100%. It's not for anything else. That is actually incredible that he has the presence of mind to think about that. Marines try to take this watchtower. They're going to spot that there's an awful lot of Roach Ravager here. And if they're not careful, they might spot the Infestors by getting fungled. ByuN moving towards the south side with a handful of units as well. Oh, Burrowed Infestor. Burrowed Infestor. Not going to be able to get a fungal or anything. I don't know where this Burrowed Infestor is going. Dark going to hit on the north side. There is kind of a lot here. Oh my god. There's so many siege tanks. All those Burrowed Roaches get blown to smithereens. ByuN's got to be real careful about the Infestors. I'm not sure if he's seen them. He did have a bit of a split there, so it feels like maybe he spotted an Infestor. Oh, but he's definitely spotted them now as a couple of fungals go down. Not the juiciest fungals in the world, but they will force ByuN back. In the meantime, Dark is getting into a hive, getting into a lurker den. He's feeling pretty good about his economy. 66 drones. Doesn't seem great, but when your opponent's on 44 SCVs and is still hard stuck on on 3 bases right now, it's feeling pretty good. ByuN decides now is the time. He's got to go now before those lurkers get out, before the infestor count gets too high. And this bio just dominates those Ravagers. A few of the biles connect okay. Oh, this Infestor that's a dangerous Infestor. But I feel like ByuN is really trying to take advantage of this one moment when the army supply is actually going to be pretty close. The tanks are all super clumped up, so biles might be very effective here if they can get in range. But with 8 tanks, that is easier said than done. Are there any scans available for ByuN? Scans are going to be really important against those Burrowed Infestors. They can't fungal while burrowed, but they can sneak up from the backside. They could even go for Neurals if that's possible. No, they don't have that upgraded, so that's not a threat. Microbial Shroud, not going to be particularly helpful here. ByuN just going to keep on poking in. He kills this base with a single medevac drop, forcing Dark to focus on that while he continues pushing forward on this side. Big juicy fungal on top of a lot of Marauders. 1 tank goes down. Most of the Marauders stay alive, though. The medevac's doing a great job healing, although they're running low on energy. ByuN continuing to step his tanks forward. Behind this, he's building... Oh, that's not a Planetary. It's actually an Orbital. But he's taking that 4th base. Bile's going down on the fungal units once again, connecting with a few of them, just chipping away at this army. However, ByuN's reinforcing from the top side, and just as Dark deals with this, a bunch more bio is going to show up. There's another tank as well that's going to find this cute little position down here. And ByuN is continuing to press forward. This is so scrappy. A couple of fungals go down. 1 hits really nicely. The bile's not connecting all that well. The medevac energy is a real problem here for ByuN. A couple of these medevacs are continually out of energy. They get up to like 10 energy. They heal a couple units. They drop back down. ByuN gonna dive in, or Dark gonna dive in rather. Get some good biles off, actually kills a couple of the medevacs, and like I was talking about, the medevac energy is a really, really big deal here, especially with the fungals. ByuN has saturated this 4th, completely oversaturated it. He has so much gas that he absolutely doesn't need. He's just trying to get as many minerals as possible. I think it might be time to lift that main and try to land it at another base. He's just trying to keep reinforcing this. Ooh, the Roach. The Roach and Burrow. I love it. The scan goes down, but it's too late. This tank already just took a ton of damage. He's going to go for it again, but the scan was still active. The tanks pick up, and then they drop again. ByuN, too good. He's really good at seeing invisible units. I've noticed this a lot against like observers and DTs, but against these burrowed roaches as well. ByuN is really good at noticing the little tells that something is there. It looks like he's ready for a counterattack, so he's holding this position. Oh, he whiffs this one though. Holding this position, but he's not reinforcing it anymore, which is very dangerous. Because at some point, Dark will be able to break this. And if he can break this efficiently enough, like this is so cute. There might just not be a scan available. Tanks unsiege. The tanks have to resiege though, as the Ravagers are coming in and they can get close enough to bile now that those tanks were unsieged for so long. And it looks like the clear has happened. And this is what I was talking about. The fungal on the backside catches a lot of these Marines and Marauders as well. And ByuN gets cleared up quite efficiently. Now, the army supplies are still pretty close. ByuN is causing some issues with a single medevac drop. I think he's the only person in the world that can make a single medevac drop look this good. This is not a planetary, though, and this 5th base is going to be canceled. The 4th gets lifted, and SCVs are going to start to go down. I don't know if Dark actually wants to keep pushing here. Remember, he's got tech behind this. He's got a hive. He's got a lurker den. He can get into other tech, but he's got no mining. Look at that. The 3rd base is gone. The natural base, 200 minerals left. It is just down to this base, but the same is true for ByuN. However, he can't mine from his base right now. Dark is making sure of that, and ByuN is not taking this base at all, not even with his main command center. I'm kind of surprised about that, honestly. Both players have 3-3 on all of these units. ByuN trying to push this backwards. He stims, he stutter steps forward, dodging the biles by getting closer to the Roach Ravager. I don't know if that's good or bad, but the army supplies are evening up a little bit here. Dark has no money left. ByuN barely has any minerals, but he is back to mining at this base. Scans forward. He's been using all his energy for scans instead of mules, which is a really nice side effect of the burrow, is it forces a bunch of scans that could all be mules. The thing about mules is they don't care about the saturation of the base. They don't interact with SCVs in that way. So you can drop mules on a base that's oversaturated and it doesn't affect the oversaturation at all. The SCVs still mine as efficiently as they would normally. Obviously, you mine out the minerals much quicker, but in some cases that can be very good. ByuN gonna unsiege some of these tanks, but it looks like he might leave a few to defend a counterattack. Or he's just gonna pull back. He's gonna take this base. All right, okay, you know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. How is this tank still alive, by the way? Corporal tank with 8 kills over here. Look at this. This tank has 28 hit points. This is like they write a movie about this tank and the people who work in it. You know, the tank commander, just chilling here. Single medevac drop again, causing some issues, but Dark has this base fully mining minerals. He's taking this one as well. Not the nicest base to have, but you know what? It's not too bad. I love the burrow micro here for Dark. ByuN scans because he wants to kill those roaches. He's like, no, no, no. Let me kill the roaches. ByuN going to take the position at the watchtower. That's going to allow him to defend both of these bases pretty well, as he is finally mining something else. There's only 4 mineral patches at this base. So this base is going to last about half a second. Some burrowed roaches get in. There's not really much they can do over here. But, you know, they can kill supply depots, which is really annoying. ByuN has to deal with it. Otherwise, they will get value. Speaking of value, Dark getting into the next step of evolution. While he's finally got some more money coming in, he's starting to make those lurkers. He's starting to make those vipers. And Lurker Viper is one of, if not the most efficient combination of units as far as anti-ground units goes. You can be impossibly efficient with them. Between blinding clouds and yoinks and parasitic bombs and lurkers just being lurkers, the efficiency you can get with that set of units is, I don't want to say it's infinite, but it kind of feels infinite, honestly. Now, Dark's not going to get infinite value with them, but if he can get really good value, that'll be enough. That will be enough. ByuN building another command center. I assume to take this base. This is a really interesting expansion pattern. We never see this. It's only because the game got so scrappy. ByuN tries to take down the lurker den, but a couple of transfuses and taking down that medevac, and it will stay alive. The game got super scrappy, so ByuN never took this base, and Dark is only just now starting this one, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's got a few full energy Vipers here. They're not going to be all that good against the bio. They can drop some blinding clouds, and that can be quite nice in some situations, but they're going to be a lot better against the siege tanks. It looks like this tank finally did die. That's the end of the movie, is the tank dying. Or maybe that's like 2/3 of the way through the movie, and the rest of the movie is all the other tanks trying to take advantage here. Oh my god, that Ghost EMP'd and got 2 of the Vipers. There are still lurkers here, which can still be a big problem, but there's already Ghosts out. ByuN gonna be able to get some snipes down. Beautifully done. Cleans up all 3 of those lurkers very quickly. And in the meantime, has a big group of bio on the north side canceling this base. Looks like the lurkers are going to hold strong up here. Ooh! Dark, how many lurkers does Dark have? It's literally just these 6. Okay. The other 3 died down here. Overlord's going to spot that this command center's floating down here. I mean, I don't hate that Dark's got this base, but this is going to be a very contentious base. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it, as ByuN is taking a strong position. Again, this is not something we usually see. Ooh, great snipes. We don't usually see this expansion pattern. But this game has gotten wild. Okay, Dark, please tell me. You got Adrenal this time. He got Adrenal this time, guys. He got it. And now this feels a lot like game number 1 in some ways, but I actually like ByuN's position in this game a lot better than I did in game 1. I also love how he's kind of boldly not building any planetaries, but at the same time, I don't know if it is bold. I feel like being able to lift here, Dark doesn't have anything that shoots up. He's got 2 Hydras. So being able to lift up your command centers is quite nice against lurkers and Roach Ravager. And Dark gonna try to take this base again, but this really is the contentious base right now. The next contentious base will be if ByuN tries to take this one, or if Dark tries to take this one. I actually wouldn't hate to see Dark go for that base, but I don't know if that's going to be able to be taken. Now, ByuN, I was talking about planetaries. I feel like he could put a planetary here. That would not be too bad. But a couple of lurkers up on the high ground here could definitely disrupt mining. So I don't know if ByuN would really be able to expect mining from there. Ooh, lurker upgrades a little bit late. You know what? Better late than never. Dark going to move around the north side, clear some rocks, and just put a little pressure on up here. We've got some cloaked Ghost getting snipes, just trying to pick off any units they can, getting great value. That value's so good that Walmart sells it at a discounted price. Ooh, a few Ghosts in a dangerous position, but looks like the tanks are going to do a good job protecting them here. Most of the Ghosts get out of there. A couple of yoinks from those Vipers. Yoink on a Ghost, pretty good value. But the army's up there, which means ByuN's got a big advantage down here. That is not the play. Dark was like, oh, it's only a few tanks. And then a huge group of bios showed up. ByuN's on 41 SCVs. His army is massive. And this base is going to go down again. That's not mining. It's not really the biggest deal here for Dark to lose that base. And that's part of the reason he keeps retaking it, is because ByuN's just going to take it down, and that buys us time for his army to get over here. There are a handful of lurkers in this push. Still feels kind of inefficient for Dark, but you know what? He pushes this position back, kills a turret, kills a number of tanks, and a lot of the bio. The Ghosts are going to show up a day late and $1 short here, as the lurkers have left. Ooh, Ghost's gonna go try to get some snipes. Yeah, they're gonna grab 2 lurkers. Oh my god, huge snipes getting queued up. That's a lot of snipes going down, but the Ghost caught a little bit out of position here. Snipes trying to go down on the Vipers. One of the Vipers goes down. A lot of Ghosts died just then, though. And 23 lurkers have died this game, but there are still 9 here for Dark. Any amount of lurkers is scary if you suddenly run out of scans, but the thing about ByuN is that he's just been building more orbitals. He has so many orbitals. What, 1, 2, 3, 4? He's got 5 orbitals right now, and he's just finishing up a 6th command center. So he's got lots of scans, considering, again, how scrappy this game has felt the whole time. Like there was a drop up here. Gets cleaned up, doesn't get too much damage done. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not taking advantage of this and going and stopping this base again. Problem for Dark is he took this base quite early, so that one's about half mined out. This is a super small base, so the gas is already gone and the minerals are, again, about half gone. There's only 2 patches left. This is pretty much Dark's only mining base. Now, you could kind of say the same for ByuN. He's got this base. Everything else mostly mined out. He's going to try to take this north one. I don't know if I love this. I would much prefer, I think, to see him take this base. I think he's got a much better chance of holding this base than this north side one. But he's going to... It's kind of like he's sneakily taking it because Dark doesn't realize. And if that turns into a planetary and gets some defenses up, a few siege tanks, it's going to be a hard position to break. Oh my god. And the snipes are so good. 30 more lings on the way. ByuN feels like he's stretched a little thin now, trying to hold on both fronts.
Oh man, chicken
but
man.
Dark hasn't been able to break in and stop ByuN's mining for a long time. Moratoriat, thank you so much for the resubscription. Welcome back to the Cockflock. It's good to have you, my friend. All right, Dark threatening this position. That's 16 lurkers right here. It looks like that's all the lurkers. Didn't leave any down to defend this base. Oh, he's got one morphing down here. Oh, and he's going to take the exact position that I mentioned as ByuN's actually double expanding. He's going to try to take both positions at the same time. And this, okay, I like this a lot. I mentioned how much I like double expanding sometimes. And a big part of the reason that I do love it is, well, like this. If Dark decides to push in, crushes this base in this position, but, you know, takes a mediocre trade and has to pull back, ByuN will have this base. If the opposite happens, ByuN will have that top base. Dark's going to try to crush in on this force. There are 5 siege tanks back here. The line goes very, very deep, but not a lot of bio to support. A few units coming over. ByuN keeping most of the ghosts to the north-hand side for now, which is important because this is where the 16 lurkers are. I think a few Marines need to go help support this base. I wouldn't hate to see Liberators coming out. I feel like one Liberator parked like right here would stop any of these lurkers. We've got nukes. It's nuke o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, ByuN gonna nuke this base. Not really gonna do too much damage, but he's gonna grab a couple drones, a couple larvae, and some lost mining time. In the meantime, the ghosts step forward. Might be able to get some snipes here. If you put down enough snipes, at least a couple of them will go up. They get the queen even. Tank moving back over. The tank's doing the exact same thing that lurker was doing. I think it's so funny that it's like the same situation. But ByuN says, I'll just defend this with a siege tank. How about them? How you like them apples? I think for a while, I liked Dark's position, but I really like ByuN's position right now. It's so funny he hasn't... This is his only planetary. He's got 6 orbitals and just 1 planetary. It's funny he chose this one. I think this is the right choice, but I wouldn't hate if this one was a planetary as well. And, well, I guess maybe it doesn't matter. 17 SCVs is going to go down here. EMPs actually do land very nicely. A couple of ghosts. Oh, my God. Oh, the cloak, the clutch cloak. Most of those snipes will not get off. The tank sieging up a little late. Not a ton of bio here to help protect the siege tanks. No detection for the cloaked ghosts, though. We're going to see a lot of snipes. But Dark starting to break in, potentially going to get on top of the production. But as I say that, snipes going down in mass. There's not enough units to protect the lurkers, and all the lurkers are going to die to the ghost snipes. Oh my god, ghost snipes are so good. I feel like they don't cost enough energy. GG! And ByuN takes the late game against Dark. That wasn't quite your normal late game. That was extraordinarily scrappy. But wow, what a game. What a match this has been. ByuN actually goes up 2-1 over Dark, despite what looked like a dominating game number 1 from Dark. We're getting into game 4, and ByuN is 1 win away from going into the finals. Snipe might be the best ability in the game. I would say either Snipe or Abduct. Storm is great. Not the best ability in the game. It's really good. Not the best ability in the game. Or Spell. Either, whichever you call it. I would say either Snipe or Abduct. Abduct doesn't do anything on its own. It needs support. Snipe, rapid fire Snipe though, is so good. The only thing about Snipe is that it doesn't work on every unit, whereas Abduct does. Same thing for Storm. Storm, great against biological units. Against anything mechanical, not so hot. You don't see it in PvP. Against mech, you don't see it. It's good, but it's got use cases, and it's got times where it doesn't work. Abduct literally works against everything. You can abduct Marines. You don't see it very often. You could do it. You'd still be getting value. Be trading energy for a unit. Just not very good value. In any case, we saw just how powerful Snipe can be in that game. And now as we hop in to game number 4 here, spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Lightshade is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. And proxying in the middle of the map, the 2 racks, it's going to get scouted immediately by the Overlord. It is our Red Terran for the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. The Overlord spots us, and I don't think the barracks, I don't think they saw the Overlord spotting them. So ByuN might not realize he's been scouted. All right, the drones are coming out. Well, there you go. Can they get a kill here? Not really. SCV, there you go. Oh, it doesn't find the corner. Oh, I didn't realize it could get hit there. ByuN needs to send his SCV back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, the Marine can pop out. The SCV going back now. Can it make it? No, it can't. No, it can't. I can't believe this. This is not going to get finished. More drones coming off. That's got to be canceled. It's right there. Look at it. Look at it. But the SCV's got 5 hit points left. I can't believe it. ByuN just goes into a Reaper, cancels the barracks. What a great opening for Dark. Wow. Oh my god, that drone has 2 kills. Oh, I always say it, and I'm going to stand by it. Drones, when they get 1 kill, should get the highest rank of that race. Whatever that is. They should immediately get it with 1 kill. 2 kills? That's a 2-kill drone. You never see that. You just never see it. The Reaper gets it, but man, that drone is a champion. That drone will live on in our hearts with 2 kills. One might have been an SCV, but the second one was definitely a Marine. Oh, that's a good point. You can't abduct ultras. That's true. You also can't neural ultras. They're frenzied. They don't allow it. I don't know why every unit doesn't just get frenzied, but we got a Roach Warren going down very early here for Dark. And that tells me Dark wants to push across the map. This Roach Warren is... That's an early Roach Warren. It looks like the Reaper not going to get the scout off. Sees no third base, but that is literally it. No scout on any gases, no scout on anything. Dark building 5 roaches, 6 roaches, and gonna start going across the map. And ByuN's going to be completely unprepared for this. He does have a Banshee on the way out, but it's just one Banshee. We've got Ravagers morphing. Guys, I think ByuN was trying to get a quick win here. Dark held it off expertly, and now I think Dark's going to get the quick win. What a great counter to stopping that 2 racks. Are you ready for ByuN to realize what he's up against? That moment, we call that the oh shit moment. The oh shit moment when there's roaches walking into your base and you've got 2 Hellions, and that's it. He evacuates the base, loses a few SCVs. Dark gonna keep trying to break in. The one Banshee is out. One Ravager dies. I like the Ravager morph here. Ravager's cocoons don't die very quickly. So the Ravager morphs are really, really cheeky, and he gets full hit points as soon as it finishes. Files are really crucial. 10, 11, 13 workers going down, and it's just getting worse. ByuN's going to tap out. Dark behind that was on 50 drones. He's taking a 3rd base, and he was just way too far ahead. GG's. The counterattack, dude. The counterattack with Roach is just too good. Just found out that my cast tomorrow for DreamHack starts at 5 instead of 4. So, or starts at 6 instead of 5, rather. So I can wake up at 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. So that's nice. Gives me an extra hour of sleep. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and get into our 5th and final game of this semifinals. This has been an absolute banger of a match, and I see no reason for Game 5 not to continue that trend. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Blackburn, we have for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark. And his opponent in the lower left-hand corner, the Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. ByuN, again proxying. Game 5, it's all on the line. So far as proxies, he's 1-1 with the proxies. Game 2, he proxied 2 racks. The 2 racks didn't do too much. The follow-up Hellion drop won the game before it even really landed. Last game, proxy 2 racks, caught and killed immediately. He's gonna go for it again in Game 5. This is the sign of a champion. Game 5. It's all tied up, and ByuN goes for it. Goes for the proxy 2 racks, the bold play, especially after it just getting so smacked. Going for it again is such a baller move. Overlord gonna spot it relatively early, slightly earlier than if he just left the Overlord like right here. Very similar to Game 2, actually. I feel like ByuN might do the exact same follow-up. But we'll see if this gets anything done. We've got a few drones coming down, but I think more drones are going to have to be pulled here. And there they are. Spinecrawler goes down once again. This bunker is probably not going to be able to get up. As I say that, though, Dark doesn't leave any drones on this SCV. So the bunker might be able to get up, but the drones get a full surround on those Marines, and all 3 Marines just straight up die. SCV goes down as well, and the bunker finishes, but to what end? It needs to get, yeah, salvaged. There you go. I guess it was a little bit of high ground vision. Spinecrawler going to finish up, and I don't think ByuN's going to be able to get anything else done with this. He killed 4 drones, which is not bad. But in Game 2, he killed 8. So that is huge. So, you know what? A good trade here for Dark. A good trade. And we saw in game 2 that Dark stopped mining gas and didn't for a long time go back to it, was just droning constantly. But he's going back to mining gas now, and he's building the Roach one because he's expecting the Hellion follow-up once again. He's like, that killed me last time, and I don't like it. So we're going to do the Roaches. We're going to do the Roaches this time again, and maybe we'll get the kill. The question is, what does ByuN do? It looks to me like ByuN's going to go straight into a Banshee. He's not, do not pass go, do not collect $200, straight to a Banshee. Which I think is going to be a great choice. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do here. And that Banshee being out earlier should mean that a Roach push isn't going to be nearly as strong. We'll see if Dark's still able to get some damage done with it, though. This base is going to finish, but ByuN might need to pull up into his main base. We shall see. A couple lings pop up. I think Dark spotted, yeah, so he spotted that this base is finishing up. For some reason, sometimes like the start of an orbital really looks like it's morphing into a planetary. Until it gets to this phase, it starts to look really like a planetary. Again, ByuN is just not ready for these Roaches and Ravagers to hit. But the Banshee's going to be done a little earlier. Natural base getting evacuated. Can the Banshee do enough damage to these Roaches to stop them from getting into the base? There's a couple Marines up here and a couple Marines on the low ground as well, which might be able to help. SCVs are going to go down, though. Oh, yeah, but look at those Marines on the low ground doing a lot of damage here. And the supply depot stays up. A much better defense from ByuN this time. ByuN was ready for this. This Banshee being out was huge. The fact that he still had a bunch of Marines alive was really important. Dark's counterattack gets a little bit of damage done, but a good trade there for ByuN. He's happy to trade a few workers with a bunch of Roaches and that Ravager. Banshee gonna head across the map now. There is a Spore, so there's detection for it. Banshee just gonna get pushed away pretty quickly. The benefit of getting defended by a Banshee is you know there's a Banshee. Cloak not really adding too much to this. I almost wonder if getting Cloak was even worth it. I guess it could be. Clear some creep. This base is trying to get taken right underneath the Banshee's nose. Yeah, that gets just canceled. Not gonna happen, not today. But a lair is done, so Roach speed on the way for Dark. Getting into double Evo Chamber, so Dark's getting ready for a longer game. Double Evo Chamber says to me, we're going long. I'm gonna get Roaches out, but I'm not gonna just try to kill you. ByuN, in the meantime, has no such thoughts in his mind. There's no E-base here. There's no third command center. Stim's about to finish, and I was gonna say he's pushing across the map, but he pulls back. Maybe he's waiting for medevacs? Decides to hold off on it? I'm not too sure. Well, let's see. Maybe he will go into a longer game. Yeah, there's the third command center. Okay. I thought he was ready to go. I was ready to go. Banshee's going to try to sneak around the backside, get a little bit of damage done. There's that 1-1 for Dark. Again, I'm not seeing any Evo Chambers for ByuN. Evo Chambers. He doesn't have a single Evolution Chamber, nor does he have any E-Bays, which are going to be a slightly bigger problem. I don't think melee upgrades are really going to help ByuN all that much, but he is going to be quite a bit behind in terms of his bio upgrades. Banshees get 3 drone kills. Not the biggest deal in the world, but considering Dark's been on such a low economy, this game compared to what usually you'd expect to see a Zergon economically. Anything is good for ByuN here. But Dark doesn't need a huge economy. He's got robust units. Much more robust than Lingbane. He's going to be able to take relatively efficient trades with Roach Ravager against this army of ByuN. And in fact, it doesn't look like a lot of trades are going to happen at all. Oh, ByuN. Got to get out of there. Again, the Roach Ravager. It just fights better against this. ByuN should be able to take a third base pretty quickly. Which one are you going to take? Okay, he's going to expand north. If he was going to go for something like on this map, those 8 racks builds, the really heavy pressure builds where you just build more and more bio units and just push and push and push, you can take the forward third and it can be a really strong position to push from. We're not seeing that though. ByuN's getting ready for a slightly longer game. Now this map doesn't allow for as long of games as Romanticide or 2000 Atmospheres, but we can get some pretty long late game scenarios on this map. The top and bottom center bases become really contentious. They're easy to harass and harder to defend. They're harder to defend than they are to harass. You get a couple of tanks back here and you just can't mine from this base. This one you get liberators or run bys can be huge. Lurkers sieging up, things like that. It becomes really difficult to stop your opponent from harassing those bases. But if you can get away with one for a little while, it can be a really big advantage. Or if you can split the map in such a way where it's easier to hold it. If you get the creep spread, if you're Dark and get creep spread way up here, hold these kinds of positions, can really stifle ByuN's economy. Ah, the Banshees. One goes down, the other one on 3 hit points. Looks like their time may be coming to an end. Handful of Marines down here are going to kill the Changelings. So Dark's going to pull his units down here, seeing those Marines, but he didn't notice these 2 medevacs heading up to the north side, which are going to stim and might be able to kill some stuff up here. Oh my god, did he spot those medevacs? He did. Pulls the drones away and gets a huge fungal. The splits here from ByuN, but the follow-up fungals are just too good, and almost every single one of those bio units dies. Wow. When we were talking about really good spells, we neglected to mention fungal and how strong that spell can be. Locking down units is an incredibly effective tool sometimes. But so far, honestly, not much has really happened this game. I mean, the trades are super low. Both players chilling economically. ByuN's going to want a 4th base pretty soon here. He's sending out the 3 hit point Banshee. Where's this Banshee going? That's a hell of a Banshee. Couldn't even be bothered to repair this Banshee. Poor thing. I love the siege unsiege. When they all do it at the same time, it's like synchronized swimming or something. Synchronized sieging. When all the tanks siege and unsiege at the exact same time. It's very pleasing. Now, Dark doesn't have the best composition in the world here. Ling, Roach, Ravager, it can be good, but it's not the best. However, the Lurkers add a lot to it, and now he's got those Vipers out, and I feel like this game is a lot less scrappy than game number 3 was, which I think is what allowed the scrappiness, but also the size of the map and the weird way they both expanded on 2000 Atmospheres, allowed ByuN to get to a position that I think it's going to be a lot harder for him to get to in this game. He's got a 4th base being built, but it's not done yet. Oof. Lurkers are pretty good. I don't think we have a single ghost out on the map. In fact, I don't even think we have a Ghost Academy. ByuN is just not really ready for this, which means no EMP on the Vipers, and that's going to be abducts for days. We're seeing how Dark wanted to use the Vipers last game, But because of those ghosts, he was never really able to get to this stage where he's abducting tanks and just taking great trades. He's going to pull the trigger. He's going to really go for it now, abducting yet another siege tank. His base morphing into an orbital, not a planetary, so ready to evacuate if it needs to. Dark dives forward. He kills a tank, but that was not the most efficient trade of his life. He's going to keep on pressing forward, though. Infestors here can lock down some units with fungals as well. These units are so stacked back here. Vials go down to get another tank. The Vipers, I think, ran out of energy, so they probably went home to absorb some more. They will come back. In the meantime, Dark still pressuring. The lurker count down to just 4, though, and actually this big stim forward to kill the lurkers. Huge fungals and the follow-up biles, but it's actually not enough to kill these bio units. So, you know what? ByuN clears that. Actually takes a very nice trade. Maintains his 4th base. And his worker count as well. A couple Liberators pop out too, and that is something going to be a little bit harder to deal with when you don't have very many things that shoot up. We've got a few Hydras coming out now, but I'm pretty sure all those Hydras are going to just turn into Lurkers. I feel like that's the idea here. The Liberator's going to make this a little harder to deal with. Dark just pulls the trigger. He absolutely just goes right on in. Parasitic bombs going down, but it just hits one Viking, not really doing too much. The Liberator's holding strong, as are the tanks and the bio, and we have Ghosts out now. ByuN immediately went into Ghost. He knows that that is the late game tech in this situation. And Dark has not been trading super efficiently, but he has been mining better. He does have that income advantage, so he can afford to trade somewhat inefficiently. But he's got to be careful not to take too inefficient of trades. He's going to break down the rocks up here. He says, I don't think this position's quite as strong as your other one. And he is absolutely right. He's going to start working on the north side. Not a lot of ghosts out just yet. A few snipes is really strong. But once you get into that super high ghost count, the lurkers can't interrupt the snipes fast enough. But he's just not there yet. Dark continuing to push. He's still got 9 lurkers left. Okay, he starts pulling back. 8 lurkers left. As the lurker count drops as well, the snipes become more effective. ByuN doing a good job holding on, though. However, in the meantime, Dark has taken a 5th base. He's taken a 6th base. He's got his whole half of the map. Now, again, these bases might be a little tougher to take, but because ByuN doesn't have the gold, doesn't have this 5th base up here, it's going to be hard for him to pressure this base. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Dark is splitting the map in such a way where it might make more sense for ByuN to take this base, but that's a slightly harder base to take. Dark going to pull the trigger again. I am not, I'll go on record as not a fan of this fight, but you know what? Maybe it worked out okay for him. Let's take a look at the trades again. Okay, no, don't like that fight. Not a fan. Not a fan. That is an 8,000 resource difference. That was not 8,000 a minute ago. This was like 10K, 13K or something a minute ago. I don't know, but ByuN has been taking fantastic trades, and he is going to set this gold base up now. This gold base is tough. I really would love to see ByuN take down these rocks, take this base. I feel like this gold base is going to be really, really tough to hold on to. And we got a cheeky high ground lurker. Repair on the tank and a scan takes it down. And ByuN able to hold on to this base for now. Again, defending this is hard because obviously the backside of the mineral lines is a very vulnerable position. And there's a lot of creep spread up here. ByuN cleared some of it earlier, but Dark has doubled his efforts on spreading creep on the north side. I feel like Dark was maybe planning to try to get a Nidus down here or something, but... And in fact, it's going to be Dark taking the bottom side. Ooh, Dark is going to try to put the squeeze onto ByuN and really limit the amount of money ByuN can make in this game by soaking up resources on the center bases. I really would love to see a big drone transfer. Like, evacuate this base pretty much entirely and just try to soak up as many minerals and as much gas as possible at these bases, so that if ByuN does end up pushing those bases back and does end up taking those bases, Dark has already mined from there and still has plenty of minerals left at these bases. Yeah, the lurkers get right behind here. This is such a tough position for ByuN to deal with, but the snipes are going to be pretty good. They take down most of the lurkers here. A couple lurkers pull backwards. 14 SCVs did fall during that. The worker count, not the biggest deal. A couple rounds of workers from each of these bases, and ByuN can get back up to that worker count. Or he can sit at 62 workers and make his army that much bigger. We see the army supply heavily in ByuN's favor. Now, it's a lot of Ling Bane here for Dark because he wants to try to get on top of these ghosts. He doesn't want to let ByuN get to that high ghost count, but the ghosts stay alive. ByuN doing a great job prioritizing their survival. He doesn't care about the Marines and Marauders. He doesn't even care that much about the tanks, but the ghosts need to stay alive. Those are the big damage dealing units here, and they do. They're just going to keep moving forward. The medevac's dying is pretty brutal. Ghost staying alive though. Oh, sneaky lurker. Not so sneaky. Dark resupplying with some Lings, but mostly it seems like Hydras going into lurkers. Still got a couple of Vipers, but there were some EMPs, so they need to soak up some energy. This base is going to start to be in trouble soon. ByuN is trying to pressure it. He's taken this corner base now. But this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Dark has soaked up some of the resources here. So if ByuN starts kind of slow pressing this, can evacuate the drones and send them down here. Maybe mine some minerals down here, but ByuN doing a good job making that as annoying as possible. Spore Crawler's not quite ready yet. It looks like Dark will clear this. Dark's, in fact, he's just going to go straight into this base. He says, I don't think you have enough here to defend this. ByuN going to lift up the orbitals. There is a planetary back here. The ghosts all cloak up. Bungle's going to reveal them. Some EMPs go down as well, though. Looks like one of the Vipers out of energy. He's going to try to snipe that Overseer down. He does. Again, there's no detection, but the ghosts don't have enough energy, I think, to snipe all these lurkers. In the meantime, a single Marauder is working on this base. The 3-3 Marauder, Sergeant Marauder, has 5 medevacs healing it. Oh, the drone. The drones. They're going for the kill, but the Marauder gets it. Look at him go, dude. That Marauder just killed a base literally on its own. That is insane. Captain Marauder now. What a baller. Oh my god. And the siege tank? Look at this Marauder, dude. This Marauder is so good. Oh my god, that's incredible. Lurkers versus Ghosts in the middle of the map. Not usually a good fight for the Lurkers. The Infestors can make a difference if they can get a fungal. That's a nice fungal. This is what I'm talking about. That's a lot of Ghosts going down right there. One of them gets out of there. That Ghost never said die. The one that said never say die died. So, good job, dude. Lurkers try to dive forward, but a lot of them going to get sniped down. Ghosts have to pull back, though, as the Lings break in. But they fall back to a planetary and a bunch of siege tanks. They've got a little bit of bio support as well from these Marines to help against the Lings. Medevacs need to come try to heal these Ghosts. Dark going to retake this base. Might eventually get it. He is mining from this one. That is an important fact. That again, he's continuing to mine from those middle bases. Even if ByuN takes them, they will be partially mined out. But ByuN is traded so well this game that extra mining from Dark is not only, it's not good, it's necessary. He needs that extra mining because he's traded so much less efficiently. 14,000 resources less efficiently in this game. And it's only getting worse. ByuN is taking this bottom base. He is killing. Well, he's not taking. He's killing drones, and he might kill the base. At the same time, he's pushing towards the top side with tanks, with Marines, with ghosts. And I think that's gonna kill this base as well. ByuN taking both positions down of Dark at the same time. Dark getting on top of some of these defensive units, though. Might be able to kill some of the SCVs that are over here trying to mine from his base. He actually keeps his base alive. All right, so Dark not losing on all fronts, taking some advantages. The army supplies are telling me a story, and that's a story of ByuN possibly winning this game and winning this series, as Dark is knocked down off of both of these bases. This base, it's not quite dead yet. I'm not dead yet, but it is pretty much dead. Dark down to mining from 2 bases. They're pretty well saturated. They're full bases, but his 3rd, his 4th are pretty much gone. Neither player has a lot of money, but ByuN now, first of all, this base has been undersaturated this whole time because Dark keeps attacking into it. So ByuN still has this full base to mine from. His gold still has quite a few mineral patches. This base is pretty fresh. This is like a super fresh base. And ByuN might try to take one of these center bases. If he can successfully take one even for a little bit, that is going to be it's going to be a really strong move. Viper's got to be careful as they move forward. Good scan from ByuN there. If he can get an EMP, obviously the Vipers can soak up more energy, but it takes time, and that's time for ByuN to get, you know, an even better advantage. Dark just going to long distance mine from this base. The single Marine sent up to do something about it. Go, Marine, go. Go, Marine, go. Stim. Kill a drone. You can do it. I believe in you, buddy. Looks like ByuN's more focused down here where he's trying to stop this base from mining. I gotta say, Dark's done a good job of, while he has lost these bases, they've been mining, and ByuN hasn't been able to take either of them yet. However, it's nuke time. It's nuke o'clock. Broodlord's morphing here. Oh, he cancels the nuke. Cancels the nuke. Decides to just push forward with the bio instead. Broodlord's being morphed. That is 8 Broodlords. 4 pop, 4 more on the way. Now, ghosts are quite good against Broodlords, but there's not a lot of answer other than the ghosts. That being like Thors and Vikings, which are started up right away. Thors are a little dicey. We already have Infestors out on the field. They don't have Neural available. Dark, I feel like Neural's going to be quite strong here. We do occasionally see, and if anybody could pull this off, it would be Dark. 1 ghost get Neuraled, and an EMP go down on the rest of the ghosts. That is the fanciest move you can possibly do in this matchup, I think. But Neural's also going to be quite good against Thors. EMP doesn't actually affect the Neural once it's gone down. Obviously, Snipe, or just killing the Infestors, does affect it. But Neural uses 50 energy, or not 50, that's probably like 75 energy, right away. And then doesn't use any energy after that. The Fungals kind of whiff the ghosts. Got some EMPs going down. But this is a good position for the Broods. It's a little bit tough to get the snipes on them, and the Broodlings can kind of go down around this ramp. Tank sieging up now, which is always dangerous against Broodlords, but the ghosts move forward. Ooh, a couple snipes do go down. EMP's trying to go down as well, but a few Fungals land. But the nuke. The nuke. Dark not going to pull a solar. He's just going to back up from this position and allow the nuke to go down. Oh, heard some snipes in the meantime. Nuke lands, doesn't really do too much, but it has forced Dark off of this position. In the meantime, ByuN is like, I'm going to take this base now, actually. I actually want this base now. Thor gets yoinked. I got to say, Thor's not my favorite unit here. Big Parasitic Bomb Fungo combo on the Medivacs. Gonna kill a lot of Medivacs in the middle of the map. Where are the ghosts? Need to be here for some snipes. There they are. Scans forward. Gonna try to get some EMPs off. Gets a couple. But a lot of Infestors here for Dark. ByuN not able to push up here and kill this base. He will be able to kill this bottom base. He's going to float his command center down here. Posturing like he wants to take both or either, which is kind of what I expected to happen eventually. ByuN would be able to take this base, but maybe Dark could soak up enough resources to make it worth it. But Dark has traded almost 20,000 resources worse, 18,000 resources worse than his opponent. And while he was mining better for a long time, it's been a lot more even in these last few minutes. And Dark, I'm getting very concerned for Dark. This is feeling very reminiscent of the game on 2000 Atmospheres, but he's got a very different composition. Broodlord and Fester. It's the classic composition for a reason. Do we have any Vipers left on the field? We do not. So that's a big problem for Dark. I feel like Vipers can be quite good here. Here's a question. Does Blinding Cloud affect snipes? Does it affect abilities? Like, if the Blinding Cloud's on top of the Ghost, can they still snipe units through that? I feel like the answer should be no, but might be yes, honestly. I'm not too sure. It's an interesting question that I don't feel like I think about very often. ByuN has finally taken this base. He's going to make it a planetary. He's got a sensor tower here, and he's going to start pushing through the center of the map. This is a bit of a weird position. Dark needs to keep this base alive. This is one of his few mining bases. He gets a huge wraparound with Lings. ByuN just going to try to pick up these Thors into medevacs and drop them near the slow zones, near these siege tanks. All right, this is going to be a nice position for the Thors. There's a planetary up here as well. Oh, and the Ghosts catch the Lings on the backside. Ghosts, just their regular auto attack is actually really good against Lings. It's something you can't discount. You think a Ling wraparound is often a good way to kill high-tech units, but not really so much for Ghosts. When you get this many Ghosts out, they chew up Lings and spit them out. Maybe they don't spit them out. Dark's still just posturing up here. The Sport Crawlers are going to help quite a bit against the Ghosts. Oop! Some Fungals, some EMPs. Neither really having lasting damage at the moment. The Snipes are the more lasting damage, and if any Broodlings can drop down, they can be quite nice. I'm surprised ByuN's gone so heavy into Thors. They do a decent job against the Broodlords, but I'm still kind of surprised by it. ByuN's army just feels better, though. And it really is just the Ghosts. Whoa, that is a big Fungal. That's going to be a handful of Ghosts going down. Nice cloak to actually keep those alive. That was a super clutch cloak. The clutchest cloak that's ever been cloaked. I want more words with C's in there, but I can't think of any. Now, a big problem for Dark is he's not mining on this base. Look how much gas is left here. Not a ton of minerals, but you know what? When both players are... Oh my god, I was going to say both players are low on minerals. Look at ByuN. 4K, 1K bank. He is maxed. Dark not only needs to take good fights, he needs to take great fights. And I don't know if he's going to be able to make it happen. ByuN, I think, might want to cancel that nuke. No, okay, pulls back. I guess it kills 3 creep tumors. The classic nukes killing creep tumors. You gotta love it. A lot of Lings here for Dark. We could try to see him go for Banelings, but that is one benefit of the Thors, is Banelings are really just not that great against them. EMP hits the Infestor that already fungled. The Fungal whiffs. You gotta love the back and forth. Dark soaking up the rest of the money from this base, and that's it. He's long distance mining down here right now. He needs to build these geysers, honestly. But this is it for Dark. This is his last bit of minerals he can mine. ByuN is mining down here. Oh my god, is he long distance mining this? He's gonna send units in here. No, the Banelings! Oh! You do not want Banelings going off against those SCVs. That is, unfortunately for Dark, a waste of money he does not have. Broodlords send out free units. That's a big bonus. Dark not going to pull a solar. Looks like he's spotted the red dot. It's a nicely placed red dot, but down it goes. EMP actually doesn't stop that fungal. That EMP was pretty decent, but still a couple more fungals going down. A few Broodlings being sent out, but some snipes on the backside as well. And this feels like a war of attrition that I just don't know if Dark can win. We've seen this position before between these two players, where Dark gets it to late game and ByuN just can't quite hang. But we saw already on 2000 Atmospheres that ByuN absolutely can hang. And at this point, he's got such a bank. And he's going to stop Dark from long distance mining these minerals and that gas. He might even go for long distance mining in his own. Oh my god, huge fungals. But can he finish the ghosts? Can he do it one more? Oh my god. Okay, that was a lot of ghosts dying to those fungals. That's what Dark needs. But no, now the Broodlords walk forward, and so many of them get sniped. Okay, a lot of the ones that got sniped didn't get finished off. That is hugely important, but they're really low. And he doesn't have a lot of queens available for transfuse. He did transfuse a couple times, but a few of these birds are still low. Ooh, it's dicey, but it's dicey for Dark every time. Losing the ghosts was unfortunate. He just rebuilds them. He has the money for it. ByuN doesn't have a lot of gas, but he still has 4 geysers mining gas. In fact, this one's still mining too. 5 geysers. Dropping nukes is a good way for ByuN to use up his gas bank maybe a little too quickly. We've got snipes, we've got EMPs, we've got fungals. Dark decides to go for it, and it's just not going to happen. He kills the ghost that was dropping the nuke. But I think he lost too much there. And again, the trades, 22,000 resources in ByuN's favor. It's only gotten worse. And the income has been in ByuN's favor for a while now. I don't think Dark can do it. I hate to be defeatist, but I don't think Dark has enough. ByuN, his late game has gotten too good. It's gotten to the point where Dark doesn't want to get to late game against him. And that's a scary moment. I really feel like ByuN's been playing this perfectly. Playing it very, very well at the very least. Hitting a lot of these EMPs. Drones on the front lines. And that tells us we're at the very end here. GG gets called. ByuN wins the late game and wins the series 3-2. What a match. Beautiful stuff.